carbon credits go against the fundamental basis of what we're trying to accomplish. Make polluters stop polluting. Period.
I do believe that we're born amazing. Something happens along the way.
Massive amounts of money just get moved around based on climate change. Where is all that money going? And are we fixing anything? Nothing's changed. And the guy supposedly is saving us $1 billion a day in terms of our deficit. It's going to hurt. Change hurts. Shutting down programs hurts. People become dependent on these things. Chemical imbalances.
That's a myth because you're drugging them heavily.
Welcome back to Reality Squared. Sharon on the keyboard. Very upbeat today. I love that. I wanted to dive right in one of the last episodes we talked about climate change, and I wanted to kind of finish my thought about the climate change situation because aside from statistically, it's kind of a funny thing, but we have made a lot of pollution in the world, right? So I did some work for a company about a year and a half ago, and I learned all about the carbon credit structure. Okay, so the way that it works in theory is that an energy company is going to pay money if you reduce the stress on their grid, right? If you're going to, take away stress on the grid, they're going to pay money for that, right? And so that's how carbon credits got started. And they put them in the form of these carbon credits so that the more you offset the grid, the more money you make because you generate more credits. And there's a company in Switzerland that basically comes in, does a year-long study on whatever you're doing as a company to reduce carbon footprint, to reduce leakage, to reduce the need for electricity and energy, to reduce pollution, and they will score you and will give you a unit that will equal one carbon credit. And that credit can then be sold, put on exchanges, traded. Banks now have exchanges to trade, and traders who are trading carbon credits to make, for profit. And then when companies pollute, in order to be carbon neutral, they can buy carbon credits to offset their polluting. So they're still polluting, but we don them as being carbon neutral because they bought all these carbon credits that are basically funding us to offset the grid. Right, so they're doing good for the earth while they're also polluting the earth. Okay, now personally, I believe that if you take climate change seriously, carbon credits go against the fundamental basis of what we're trying to accomplish, which is no more polluting. If you are allowed to pollute and buy carbon credits to offset, you can't offset polluting. You can't. Just stop doing it. I don't understand how this is even like a conversation, and why people insist on, extorting all this taxpayer money basically for nothing. It's for nothing. You're not fixing anything. Make the polluters stop polluting. Period. Anything that doesn't accomplish that should not be part of the model. Should not be part of the system. So. At the same time, we know that there is climate change of some kind. We know that we are impacting the planet in some way, shape, or form. I think that the fear is always that it's happening fast, as opposed to the Earth is slow and it's going to take a long time to manifest the changes it needs to go through to offset the polluting that we're doing. But there has never been polluting like this in the history of the world. Like, we are polluting like never before. So
the pollution is intense enough to actually influence the weather?
Well, so we don't, absolutely. And the truth is, historically, we just don't know, because before the modern era, before the Industrial Revolution, no one polluted on this level. Or the substances that were polluting. The toxins didn't even exist. So we have nothing to go back on to say, oh, this is what's going to happen, which is why the ones who are freaking out, it's like, you need to show us why you're freaking out, because there's no precedence of anything that you're talking about ever in the existence of the earth. So you're raising the red flag based on your theory. Okay. Now, Could be that their theories are right. You never know, because again, it's unprecedented. So then you have to figure out what are we going to lean into? Who are we going to listen to? Because honestly, every 10 years, there's another big scare and it never comes to fruition, right? The ice caps are melting and we're going to flood in 2 years. Within 10 years, there's no going to, Miami Beach is going to be underwater. No, that did not happen. Didn't happen. Okay. And every time that they say something stupid and extreme like that, it never happens. And then we keep on listening to them and letting them extort money from our systems because fear of this thing that might happen that they have no real proof of any way, shape, or form that it's going to happen. But it might, right? So when it comes to climate change and all that kind of stuff, I believe that there's been a fair amount of financial management of money on Earth under the guise of climate change. Like massive amounts of money just get moved around based on climate change. It's ridiculous. And I don't even know the level of extortion, the level of corruption, the level of where is all that money going? And are we fixing anything? Because if I look around, nothing's changed. Everyone's still polluting the way that they were before. Factories have been where they are for years and years, and those chimney stacks do not stop pumping out that smoke.
If anything, it's probably getting worse.
Pumping more. Yeah. So I think that the whole climate change thing, it's a bunch of the whole system is a bunch of and when I hear people chanting, "Oh, climate change," it's like, dude, what you're asking for isn't fixing anything.
So it's gone out of fashion a little bit. People are not doing it as much as they used to. You're not hearing it as much. No?
No, I guess not. I mean, it's probably overshadowed by some other, major things going on in the world right now, but I feel like it's always something that I hear about. Always. So I just wanted to kind of say that piece about climate change that, in a lot of ways, we have work to do. And in a lot of ways, the things that we've done are not the things that are going to get us there.
Who was big into Al Gore? Was that his name?
Who? The vice president? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was, I remember that era. Mm-hmm. The climate change era. Mm-hmm. He was the big spokesman for it.
Oh, yeah. He was all about that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah. And, Trump pulled out of the Paris Accord. First week in office, I'm pretty sure. Maybe the first day. He was like, we're not contributing to this anymore. The U.S. is not going to keep funding wherever this money's going in the guise of climate change. What the hell are you guys talking about? Where's this money going? I believe that all taxpayer money should be paid to the IRS and should be filtered down to the Federal Reserve and then used for whatever we use it for to fulfill our budgets, all through blockchain. That is public, that everyone can see where every penny that we spend, that they collect is going, where's it going, what's it being spent on. We should be able to see. It's our money, right?
Are people fighting for that? Is there lobbying for that?
Of course. It all comes back. This country was built on the concept that we were going against taxation without representation. Well, now we're getting taxed, they're taxing the crap out of us now. And I don't feel very represented. Where the money goes, I don't agree with. All the corruption that goes along with it, the labor unions and the hierarchies and the wasted levels and paperwork and this and that and processes and buildings and real estate. And it never ends and it's unnecessary. And I hope that Elon Musk fixes it all. Because honestly, good for him. And people are freaking out and they're like, oh, this guy just took over our government and we didn't vote for him and blah, 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 blah. And it's well, the president picked him to be part of his inner staff that he trusts to do his biddings and execute what he needs to do. And he's an expert in this space. And I bet that there were a lot of people during the Biden administration who were running behind the scenes that no one even knew their names. No one voted for them, and they were making literally legal changes in our country and making decisions that impact all of society. And they were probably not people who I would vote for. Probably not. And so to me, we brought in a guy who's not some nameless, faceless person sitting, in some office making decisions about how to run this country. This is a guy who's kind of tried and true. Like his processes work. He's one of the like he has mastered efficiency in ways that no one has before him. He's an expert. He's the wealthiest guy on earth because of it. And it's funny, he's not even American. It's amazing. But he loves this country and he sees what the potential of this country is. And he knows that if he fixes this, he will forever change the course of this country fiscally and in terms of its like government, its infrastructure, its social structures, and will set us up for I can't even imagine the level of success that we can have and the way that we can raise the bar of living for all Americans in this country as a result of what he's doing. So I get where you're coming from, where you say we didn't vote for him, but maybe let him just like give a, crack at it. And I mean, it's not like we're just giving some nobody a crack at this. We're giving someone who's, he's done this. Not to this scale, but pretty freaking big, right? I mean, the guy started PayPal when he was like a freaking child, sold it when he was like a young adult, started SpaceX, started Tesla, like has the Boring Company, the guy just, and he does it all well, and he does it all, while making good profit and good revenue, and let him do his thing. Just let him do his thing. And yeah, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. Okay? Change hurts. Shutting down programs hurts. People become dependent on these things. It's gonna, and I feel bad for those people. And I wish that there was another way. And maybe there is. Maybe we're letting this guy just like railroad in here and bull in a china shop, and this is delicate. And maybe there should be a little bit more oversight as to what he's doing and how he's doing it. Without impeding his velocity. Because I like the speed. I like the concept of like, go, right? Move, make the change, make the improvement. Don't slow down, but you gotta have the right checks and balances. You have to have the right level of representation, right? But I mean, the guy supposedly is saving us $1 billion a day at this point in terms of our deficit. So that's huge. That's tremendous. And everyone in America will benefit from that as long as the funds are used appropriately. And I feel like people are going to attack the characters and the personal, maybe things in the past of a lot of the cabinet that Trump has brought in, but it's because they're just bitter. And if they could just see it for who these people are now and today and what they can bring in terms of value to the American people, they would see that like Trump's trying to create like an all-star team. He is. Like, you see he's trying to build an all-star team. You may not agree with who he's choosing on his team, but you see he's trying to go for the heavy hitters, the rock stars. And we'll see how it all ends up. We'll see what the result is. But I find that this constant battling of the people and the crying of the people, and it's like, guys, just like, I get you have grievances and they're important and these are people's lives and it's real and I understand, but there's another side and you have to understand, like, you don't have to understand, but like at least see that there is a strategy here where there's going to be a lot of value that we will, and our generations to come will benefit from, our children and our children's children and their children, because of the changes that we are able to make possibly right now. This is such obvious low-hanging fruit, fixing the government, fixing our processes that haven't been changed for so long. I mean, it's so archaically old, and it's so wasteful and inefficient and slow and big, and like, we don't need it. We can go fast and be efficient. We can do it. And I hope he does it. I hope I cheering you on, Elon, man. Really. You can do it. You can do it. I'm a Lean Six Sigma I'm certified in these methodologies that are all about elimination of waste and quantifying and qualifying change and continuous improvement. And I've been waiting for this to happen for a long time. So I think it's we need to do it. I hope the way it happens resonates with the people as much as possible. I hope we don't have collateral damage, and I know that we do, but I hope it's minimized as much as possible. But this is what's up. This is what's going on. This is what's real. So again, I don't know. I can't vouch that he's gonna nail it on the head. Like it's a big job, and he's gonna get pushback, and the pushback sometimes is gonna slow him down. It's gonna slow him down. Just today, I heard that they didn't want to give him access to, the Federal Reserve, to the Treasury system, probably for national security reasons. But honestly, that's where I want him looking. Where's that money going? Where's it going? How can we account for it? So, I don't know. Maybe I give the guy too much trust. Maybe. I don't know, personally. But he seems like his heart's always in the right place. He seems like a very straight shooter. And really gets to the crux of things and really gets to the root causes of things, if you notice how he talks and how he explains things. So, I don't know. I see so many good skills that he has, that he brings to the table, that I've seen people, be successful with. So maybe I'm biased, because he exhibits a lot of those traits and behaviors, and he seems super genuine and super genuinely excited about this, and he understands what's at stake. And he's a real patriot to me, taking this on. He doesn't have to do this. So that's my spiel. That's my little rant, my little soapbox moment. Thank you for the accompaniment. That was beautiful.
Let's make America great again.
Yeah, let's just make America greater.
I was going to say let's make America straight again, but maybe is that like...
That's an unpopular thing to say.
Let's make America just straighten out our act.
Okay. True. I guess I took it there. Yeah, my mind's in the gutter. I don't know what to tell you.
Let's just straighten out our act. Let's make America straight again.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, and in terms of our morals and our values, I could not agree more. I think we are going down and have gone down a slippery slope, and it is going to be hard to come back. I like seeing a lot of the, the God, the Christian rhetoric coming back to a lot of the political, even though separation of church and state, in my mind, God and Christian Judeo values are just wholesome.
The only thing that's different between Judaism and Christianity, our morals are the same. Mm-hmm. They're both based on Torah values, is that we believe that the sacrificial system needs to come back, and Christians believe that Jesus is the sacrifice. Mm. That's the only difference.
Interesting. I never thought of it that way. That really is the only bottom line difference.
Bottom line difference? Yeah. Because we also believe that when the Messiah shows up, that we won't have Passover and Yom Kippur. Those things because we'll be living in a messianic consciousness. We won't need to atone for sin, because sin will be vanished from the earth.
Right.
So, just the early Christians who were Jews just believed that happened already, and that started a new religion. But that is really the basic difference, is the sacrifice.
Interesting. That's so cool. I never even thought about it.
Like we believe the temple has to be rebuilt, and sacrifices need to be performed in the temple.
Right.
Christians believe Jesus is the temple, the body is the temple, and that he made the final sacrifice.
Right.
That's what they believe. And that's what
both sound
most of the
plausible.
earth believes.
Yeah, both sound plausible.
but our morality are the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
But even with Muslims, our Muslim morality is also the same.
The same.
It's the same, and yet there's such animosity between us. But our morals are the same. We want to behave the same way.
I feel like in some way we're fighting our great grandparents' fights still to this day, and we've been taught the hate, and it's been passed down from generation to generation, and it's going to take education to undo what's been done. It'll take a full generation of being being untaught or not teaching these to the next generation in order for it to end. But unfortunately, hate and fear drive a lot of life, and these people are passionate, and these people have, in many cases, legitimate qualms. Land issues and historical, and the question is, how far back do you go, and do you just start fresh, and do you put it back to some other time, and when people think that would be an acceptable thing, and I don't know the answer to any of these questions, and I'm not sure how this conflict ends. But I can tell you this, it will only end with love. Love is the only way. Until we love each other enough to put the past aside and to mourn together and to move on in unity and as one, as people, as humans, compassion, until that happens and we drop the hate, this will never die. Never. And it has to happen on all sides. Right? And love will bring trust, and trust will bring cohabitation, and cohabitation will hopefully bring more love. And it'll be a beautiful cycle. But anything short of that is a Band-Aid. As long as the hate remains and the love is vacuumed out, there's no way. There's no way forward that will appease all sides. There's just not. I mean, I have faith in humanity, but man, do they freaking try me sometimes, bro. That faith is hard to keep sometimes. But we have to make laws and systems that allow people to be happier. Like, we keep on blaming the people. Be happier. And it's like, if we don't create an environment that breeds happiness, that doesn't breed this constant competition and this rat race, I don't know. Like, and capitalism does not really promote happiness. It promotes jealousy. It promotes greed. It promotes.
I think commercialism is the problem. Capitalism, people making money, a money-focused society to gain, to succeed. But imagine commercialism.
But imagine if we were a progress driven society, meaning that everyone wasn't driven by money but by innovation.